Dan, are you about to be attacked or something? You're looking to the right, you're flipping the camera around. Do you know how impossible it is to
I
do this show
apologize.
while you're doing this? I feel like I'm on an airplane, like during turbulence or something. It's ridiculous.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the most underrated podcast, not only in real estate, but on planet Earth, aka The Walkthrough, where each and every single week we bring on top industry professionals to walk you through the trending topics in real time in real estate. I have it memorized. That's how many episodes we're at, Eric. I got to I'm not even looking at a sheet. I got to memorize it right here.
That's
Today,
impressive.
right? That actually is kind of impressive. Today, I am on a swing, and I'm in beautiful sunny Sarasota. I am joined by somebody who is not in sunny Sarasota. His name is Eric, the broke agent Simon. Eric, how you doing, buddy? How are things?
I'm good. I'm glad that Brooks and I coordinated our outfits. We look exactly the same. Let us know in the comments who you think's more handsome, me or Brooks.
You don't want
Let us
that.
know
You don't want
in
to
the
do that.
comments.
The only comment in your favor will be your mother.
Yes, Mom, please throw an Eric in the chat.
Right.
Also joining us from sunny Fort Lickerdale, Miss Linzi Breuhan, sold by Linzi. Linzi, how you doing?
I love that intro. I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm not even reading anything. This is crazy. I'm just in flow right here. And then lastly, joining us all the way from the Bay Area. No, I'm kidding. Lastly, joining us from the Bay Area, coming from an immaculate background. I mean, I don't know. You went from a high school gymnasium to it looks like Christian Gray's Red Room over there. Mr. Brooks Landry from the Brooks Landry Group. Brooks, how you doing, buddy?
Good, brother. This does transform into a little bit of a red room. We'll see how this goes.
It looks like the Bat Cave. It looks like a torture chamber a little bit.
All right, listen, today we are talking all cash purchases at an all-time high. We are talking a rental dispute that has everybody buzzing and much, much more. But before we do that, make sure that you go on here and please do us a favor. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, subscribe to BAMX, like and follow all of us except for myself. You don't want to see my content. And let's get into it. Topic number one is all cash home purchases reached their highest level in almost a decade. This is from the BAM staff here. Another just incredible article by the BAM staff. So BAM Key Detail is a new Redfin report shows that just over 1/3, so 34% of U.S. home sales in September were all cash purchases. All cash. That is up from 29.5% 1 year ago and hitting a 9-year high. According to this Redfin report, home buyers in September paid all cash in just over 1/3 of their transactions. So with that said, the national numbers in this report refer to specifically 40 metros. September in 2023 was the most recent month for which this data is available, and all cash purchases is defined as one for which there is no mortgage or no loan. We just found out this morning that rates just went down to, I believe, 7.2%, if I'm correct. And there are two reasons here in this article as to why people are buying in all cash. Number one, high mortgage rates made mortgage-free purchases more appealing. And number two, home buyers can afford to pay in cash, are more likely to buy in this market. I have a ton of info on this, but I'll pass it to you first, Miss Linzi, because you were down in Fort Lickerdale. And I know that everyone coming up from up here is going down there. They're sitting on equity. They've owned their home for 20 years. They're empty nesting. Maybe their kids are in college. They're just selling their house, taking that cash, and going down to the beautiful East Coast of Florida. So are you seeing this? And are you seeing this significant amount of people buying cash?
Yeah, it's no surprise at all when interest rates more than double in a year's time. Like that was the first time in history that rates have ever done that. So that information is not shocking to me at all, especially because right now I'm sure we're all seeing the only people who are moving are people who need to move or who can afford to move. And they're so, I mean, for lack of a better word, loaded, that it doesn't matter to them, the interest rates. If they want to move, they're going to want to move regardless, right? So we're going to see 100%, we're seeing way more of that. Mm-hmm.
Brooks, are you seeing that in the Bay Area? I'm not really familiar with the Bay Area's market, but I know you invest yourself. So are you seeing that? Are you taking out any hard money loans?
No. In fact, it's funny because I'm curious to see where these markets are. Obviously, Fort Lickerdale and other. By the way, that's a hell of a nickname for a town.
I know.
Uh,
Always been that from him.
right. Definitely not out here in the Bay Area, from what I've seen. In fact, I spoke with this morning when you gave us kind of the run through of what we're going to talk about 10 minutes before the call. I reached out to a couple of buddies of mine, and one of them is a lender buddy. His name's Sean Herrero, a venture lender. The guy is as dialed in the mortgage industry as you possibly can, breaking down just a little ins and outs about the process. He had said, no, I'm not seeing even big down payments on properties. I'm seeing 10%, 15%. I don't remember the last time that I've represented a buyer, and I mean maybe 4 or 5 years, where they've written an all cash offer.
You haven't sold anything in 4 or 5.
Yeah, I haven't sold home in 5 years.
You don't remember the last time you repped any buyer. But
not at all.
Here's the thing, though. Brooks is right, because the stats back him up. The 10 metros with the lowest shares of all cash home purchases, Oakland, which is technically the Bay Area, right, Brooks?
Yes,
only
sir.
18%. San Jose only 18%. Seattle 20%. Los Angeles 22%. So it seems like the markets that are usually for the rich, or the more high end markets, are having less all cash purchases. The 10 metros with the highest shares, Cleveland is almost at 50%, West Palm Beach, Florida, 49%, Jacksonville, 46%, Cincinnati, 45%. So less all cash purchases in the Bay Area.
How many Florida or Carolinas are on there, Eric?
For the most?
Top 10? Yeah, you named 3, right? Jacksonville.
Yeah. So it's West Palm number 2, Jacksonville number 3, and Miami is number 9, 40%, which is up 2 percentage points from last year.
I'm very surprised that the Carolinas aren't on that list. Maybe that's more of a Northeast thing, but the Carolinas are definitely a really a big destination place for us up here. But there was an interesting statistic too about who we can be prospecting and who we can be going after, right, as agents in Q4 here. And one of them is the silent generation, right? So that's the people that, I guess I'm not a generation guy here. I don't even know what Groundhog's Day means, but I think the silent generation is like 60 and above. So those people they've owned a home since rates were 13%, and they had an ARM mortgage. So they bought their house for $126,000, which is now probably worth $800,000. So they have no payment. They're sitting on just boatloads of cash. A lot of them have grandchildren. So what they've been doing, especially what we're seeing as people walk past my office right now, is a lot of people are leaving New York. They're selling, taking that money, that cash, buying down in Florida. And then they're also buying a condo up in New York, so that way they can go back and forth, see the grandkids, so on and so forth. So maybe more so specifically for me, being in New York and then Florida, I'm seeing it. And I'm sure, and Lindsay, like you too, right?
And people in Florida are just so house rich. Like, we don't talk about it enough, how people that purchased like pre-COVID, and like you said, people who have lived here for the past 15 or 20 years, they have so much equity in their home. When COVID hit, everything shut down. New York shut down. How many people went from New York to Florida? I mean, the influx is insane. They're sitting on so much equity. So that's why we're seeing so much. And I've heard talk, chitter chatter here and there about more regulations. I'm sure we will see another influx of people taking their cash to Florida without
more COVID regulations.
Yeah. We were talking about that.
Brooks would love that. That guy wears 6 masks at the last Tom Ferry conference I saw him at. The silent generation, by the way. What's that, Brooks?
I'm still getting over COVID.
Yeah, exactly. The silent generation, by the way, Dan, I know you're not a generation guy. The traditional, no, I'm not. The greatest generation preceding the baby boomers, 1928 to 1945. That's the silent generation.
So I was right. 70
right.
to
so
it's price point
for the people. Yeah, and then also down payments have gone up. The average down payment in America in September is now 16.1%, which is up 1.1% because people are trying to lower their monthly because of the rates. So that all makes sense.
I think it makes sense if you. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go. Your hands up.
I think it makes sense if you're in a destination area, a retirement area, Arizona, Florida, whatnot. You're not seeing that out where obviously, the higher price points where they're at. In fact, if I've got an all cash buyer that's looking to buy an investment property, I'm not advising him to put all of his eggs in that basket. Why are we not spreading that around? Why are we not buying multiple properties that are going to cash flow? So totally makes sense. The Southeast areas of Arizona, and where people are getting, maybe a lot of Californians are taking their cash and their equity that they've accrued over the past, 4 or 5 years and buying up Fort Lauderdale.
The Southeast. Did you just say the Southeast areas of Arizona?
No,
You
the
just
southeast
pulled that
areas of
right out.
Arizona.
Oh,
my
okay,
God.
got it.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
and
pulling out
Brooks,
just random cities that don't even
Just
exist.
random blocks in
Not
Phoenix.
Tucson or Phoenix. You're literally just making up locations. Yeah, I think
Brooks
like
said,
the north southwest area of kind of Seattle. I think that's where there's like a huge influx of cash
Oh,
buyers.
100%.
Brooks
We
to,
can
to
say
finish
whatever
out
we want on here. It's great. Go ahead, Nick.
Nobody watches it anyway. Brooks, to finish out your point, on top of the silent generation that we just figured out, there's also the baby boomer, like you were saying, and Lindsay, you as well. People that bought in 2018, 2019 that felt that they either settled, that they were unhappy with their agent, maybe they need a bigger home, maybe they're sick of whatever, right? They moved because of COVID, now they're ready to move again. They're sitting on hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equity. So that also translates to, Eric, your point of these higher down payments because people now are sitting on Monet. And you know what else is money, Eric? You know what else is
Bam
money?
X. Bam
Bam.
X is money. Actually, you know what? You know what, Dan? It's not that much money.
No,
It's
but it is
ridiculous.
money.
You don't need you barely even need all cash to purchase this thing. It's $10 a month if you do the annual. It's $15 a month if you do the monthly. And that gives you access to all of our trainings, all of our courses, and all of our masterminds. We have a bi-weekly mastermind, and we also have a YouTube accountability mastermind. Brooks is in there. Byron gave a great talk last week on 11-point plan on what to do after the Sitzer Burnett case. And it was fantastic. Get in BAMX right now because December 1st, we are raising the price because we're realizing that the price is just too cheap for the amount of value we're offering. So get in right now. You got about 22 days until the price goes up December 1st. BAMX, link in the description. Use code WALKTHROUGH, WLKTHRU, 10% off. Lindsay's in there. Dan's in there. Brooks is in there. Lindsay, are you in there actually?
I'm not in there. I'm like,
Okay, but you will be after this.
You
Fantastic.
guys break her off. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for
You're
sure.
out of here. All right. Great ad read. BAMX is the best subscription that exists. Eric, topic number 2. Tee this up for us, my handsome friend here.
Yes, this is going on in Australia. There was an Aussie real estate agent who is being blasted for a cold-hearted decision just hours after offering a property for rent. Oh my God! A Queensland resident has revealed. So, I can't read this, man. This is insane.
It ain't
Dan,
easy,
is
buddy,
that
huh?
you?
It ain't easy, buddy.
Here we go. A Queensland resident has revealed they recently thought they'd secured a place to call home, finally catching a break during Australia's rental crisis, but the glimmer of hope quickly faded. Airing their grievances on social media last week, the renter revealed that they received an offer email with the offer at around 3 p.m. on October 24th, but because they worked until 7, they could not respond until 8. In the meantime, the agent, who was not named, supposedly offered the property to someone else instead and outlined the reason why in a response that was posted to Reddit. This is the response from the realtor, which is not that harsh, by the way. Thank you for your email regarding the tenancy. Unfortunately, there was an approval sent to you without response until later in the evening. As we had multiple applicants and heard nothing from you, you were instructed via the owner to take another application. We apologize for the inconvenience. So this renter was furious, blasted this person all over Reddit, and was basically frustrated by the cold-hearted response. And now, for some reason, this is a viral story in Australia. And I want to get your guys' thoughts. Lindsay, we'll start with you. Do you think the agent was wrong for sending out more applications or, having somebody else accept the offer in that 4-hour period just because the renter was at work?
I mean, it's a little bit cold. I would think that we would have a little bit more of a notice, maybe a 12-hour window there to accept, your tenancy. But I guess that's showbiz. And what are you going to do about it? If you are really that hard up, maybe you should have your email notifications going to your Apple Watch. But I think as a courtesy, I would recommend agents do maybe a 12-hour window or specify in that email and then send a follow-up email saying, hey, did you receive it? Or maybe a text message. I'm sure. I mean, you've got their social security number or, their whatever it is when you apply for this, you have to have their information in order to send a courtesy text message. Hey, we're moving on to the next best candidate. Yes or no? That sort of situation. Cold.
Yeah, Brooks.
The response wasn't as frozen as I thought it would be. But yeah.
It's not like the response just said like, fuck off, you didn't get the property. It just said, sorry for the inconvenience. But I do I feel bad for the tenant because there is a rental crisis right now in Australia. And also because 4 hours is not that much time at all. Like the agent should have probably communicated to the person like, this offer expires in 2 hours or you have to respond because there's other applicants circling. Like this is a very pressing issue right now. So what do you think, Brooks?
Yeah, and we don't know the context of that because it seems like they've left that out. But what a time we live in right now, where you
Right.
had an opportunity to purchase to rent a property. You weren't glued to whatever form of communication that you were given to the renter or the agent, the listing agent, in order to get back to you. It clearly wasn't that big of a deal. So what you did is you went on social media and talked shit about the real estate agent, just beating their reputation down. And then on the flip side of this, how many times have we heard that realtors don't communicate? You're pissed off that the realtor actually communicated. We finally got what you were looking for. I think what happened, this is 100% on the applicant. The applicant dropped the ball. And listen, if I know that I need to find a roof for my kids to live under and there's a shortage, I'm putting multiple applications in on multiple different places. I'm being over communicative, and I'm not going to cry when I don't get what I dropped the ball on. This is 100% on the applicant.
100% on the applicant. This happens every single day with multiple offer situations, right? Like if I know I'm going to buy something, or if I'm bidding on something, or if it's a house or a roof over my head, yes, I understand you're at work, but I mean, I've been in the restaurant industry before. I've been tied up. I've made sure that I sneak into the bathroom and check my phone, right? Like I'm very uncommunicative, but if I know I need something or I'm waiting on something, I'm going to answer. So, and vice versa. Let's play devil's advocate here. What happens if that agent gave them all the time in the world and then they backed out and then they screwed over the other 12 people that were, waiting, and they also screwed over their seller? So if you're sitting there waiting for 4 hours, if you don't answer for 4 hours, moving on to the next person. That's cutthroat. That's the industry. If you didn't have an agent that explained that to you or set the proper expectation, find a new agent. But the fact that they went on Reddit and social media,
and we're talking about it right now.
We're talking about it right now, second week in a row, first the rappers, now this. People just just our society we live in, right? Someone's going to say something about, I'm going to be on Reddit because I'm sitting in a chair right now, right? It's just so easy to anonymously, click. The asparagus sucked at this restaurant last night. I've never left a review in my entire life, ever. I know you've written one, Eric, in your life, and you got sick in Hong Kong, wherever you were on your honeymoon, but
Bangkok.
That's simple to do, right? Bangkok, sorry, I forgot.
I'm concerned the other person was also facing a rental crisis who got it afterwards. So it's not like it went to somebody that was just sitting around like, oh, I got a place to live. They're all in the same boat. And if you're not there to grab the life jacket that they're throwing you, then you miss it. Okay. The boat's gone.
I think it shows the general frustration of buyers and renters right now. The fact this is a story is because Yahoo or whoever picked this up knew that this was going to get a lot of clicks, because this is how a lot of people are feeling. But I agree with all three of you. It's not on the agent to wait for this client to respond, and it's the agent's responsibility to their seller who needed to get this contract out. So totally fine. This is not a big deal at all, but interesting topic. Let us know in the comments what you think. Is the renter wrong or is the realtor wrong? With that horrible, cold-hearted response where they just said that they sent it to another applicant. How vicious of that realtor.
Your good morning text to me is so much more vile and so much more horrendous than that. That's
What's my good morning text to you?
No, I usually send you a voice memo and then you tell me to leave you alone, or you don't answer.
We're trying to prep for the walkthrough, and then I don't hear anything from Dan all day or all night or anything beforehand. And then there's a flurry of voice messages and texts at 6 a.m. the morning of, when I've already sent the articles to people. So then we're trying to figure out what the show's going to be. And then he just starts peppering me with the first 10 articles he sees. He'll go on nowbam.com or Inman or Housing Wire and just send me 15 articles and be like, look, man, here are the articles. Let's do it. And I'm like, dude, we've already gone over the articles. So that's vicious that you do to me. I don't do anything to you besides, hey, man, maybe we should talk about the show. That's all.
You're right. I apologize. And speaking of apologizing,
keep swinging in your swing.
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's sick. Everyone's walking past the office. People are so friendly here in New York. They walk past and they give you the finger. They spit in the office. I got a dog bowl outside waving. It's like,
they walk by. They come in the office and just hack a loogie on the floor.
I got a candy bar. I got a candy. People are stealing candy. Dog bowls. Dogs are everywhere. Anyway, throw us a comment here. Come down to Sarasota. Say hello. Come get your dog some water if you want. On to topic number 3. This was an Eric topic here. A client review that you need to see. Look at this guy in the suit. Hey, buddy, you want to be on the walkthrough? That guy's in real estate for sure. We're in Ferragamo over there. Anyway, topic number 3. A client review you need to see from BAM staff. If you're wondering how to share a client review that lights you up inside, that gives you the tingles, or any kind of real estate professional would love to get, will wonder no more. I'm quoting the article here, by the way. This is not my verbiage. I mean, it's not like you're bragging about how great you are. You're letting someone else do that. And to be fair, most of your audience wants to see what your clients thinks of you anyway. Props to Frederick Sells Frederick for
Yes.
providing a brilliant example of how to post a client review. And no, it is not a boring screenshot dressed up in Canva.
That's right. Haley, let's play this. This is Frederick Sells Frederick. This is one of the better client reviews I've ever seen. Play it.
It was super helpful every step of the selling process. Didn't doubt his help for a second. He makes it look easy. He's the LeBron James of real estate. Frederick Sells Frederick, doesn't disappoint.
Love it.
All right.
And
So-
Eric, that reminds me very much of your of the basketball hoop you have at your house where you torture your dog every day. But recently, Byron interviewed Tamir Poleg, the CEO of Real Brokerage, and Sharon, the president of Real. And one of the final questions had to do with something agents can put into practice over the next 6 months, which is, as Tamir put it, will be the hardest 6 months of any real estate agent's career. This falls into the category Sharon described as proof over promises. Sharon was talking more about your listing presentation, but both situations are essentially about starting conversations that lead to the best possible outcomes for your clients. Both are about showing rather than telling the potential client what you will do for them.
Yes. So back to this client review, as Tamir said in that podcast, proof over promise. Posting your client reviews obviously is very important, but there is a way to go about it that doesn't bore the hell out of your audience. And I think Frederick Sells Frederick did a fantastic job at it, doing the B-roll and then just posting the review. And then there's a voiceover telling the review about how he's the LeBron James of real estate. He's dunking. He's got his kids in the background. So he's showing, here's my family, here's my review, here's the proof. I just thought it was really well done. It's so much better than just taking a screenshot of the review and doing a slideshow. So, Lindsay, what do you think of this review? And how do you think agents should post their client reviews?
I'm going to come out and say it. That was the most underrated possible that it could possibly be. 26 likes like that. I watched it and I laughed out loud when you guys sent me it. I agree. These boring Canva posts, it's so important to let our clients know, or our potential clients know, what our current clients are thinking of working it with us. And when you get an awesome review, you do want to shout it to the rooftops. Maybe we could do something along the lines of incorporating into content. I put a lot of my reviews in the bottom of my emails that I send my clients. Like I'll put like a recent review link in the bottom of my emails to let those people know exactly what people are thinking of going through with me lately. But yeah, I mean, posting these boring reviews is off brand. Like Instagram and social media is for entertaining, educating, inspiring the hell out of people. And posting something that's just kind of like, oh, here you go. This is what Paul thought about working with me. It doesn't speak as loudly as I think it should. Now that review is definitely inspiring me to like post something funnier or, educational and throw that review in that way.
Yeah. Dan, are you about to be attacked or something? You're looking to the right, you're flipping the camera around. Do you know how impossible it is to do the show while you're doing this? I feel like I'm on an airplane, like during turbulence or something. It's ridiculous. Turn off your camera. You look like you're about to be attacked. Stop flipping the camera around. I don't know what we're looking at here.
Sorry.
This is insane.
It's
Tell
people
me you
coming.
have ADHD without telling me you have ADHD. He's
Yeah,
like,
Lindsay's making a point, and Dan's doing this. Dan's looking over his shoulder like he's in the Bourne Identity, like someone's going to just come up behind him and just take a hatchet to the back of his head. It's ridiculous. Just sit there. Don't sit on a swing. Just sit there.
For people that don't know, I just opened up an office in Sarasota, and I had people just walking in and out. I don't know. So yes, I'm afraid when somebody 6'11" walks in the office.
What are they going to do? Punch you in the face?
Maybe.
Just because they're tall, they're going to walk up to you and just punch you in the face. They're just going to cold deck you in the face. You're like the most paranoid. It's all over the place. Lindsay's making a great point here. All right. Yes. Good point, Lindsay. People should not just post their Canva templates. I like that you include it in the email blast. The B-roll that Frederick Sells Frederick did is genius, because then you could just do something funny in the background while posting the review. Brooks, what do you do for client reviews? Have you ever gotten a 5-star review?
Never. Next.
All right, good. Next question.
If you did, how would you handle that?
What's that?
If you did, how would you handle it?
First of all, the only thing that is missing is dunking on his son. His son should have been on top of him, just like completely slamming. That would have been amazing. Why does he only have 400 views on that? I feel like that thing checks off all the boxes that should push that to a ton of different people. You got the review in the corner. You got something else going on in the background. You got the Jordan Bulls music, the whole thing. Like that checks every box off. Hats off to Frederick. I don't know how to get reviews. I'm awful at getting reviews. In fact, one of my business plans as we move into doubling down, see, go a little transition into the next one. Okay. As we move into the doubling down, my goal is to get into Reach 150. Reach 150, if you guys aren't familiar with it, is it's an application that essentially follows up on whoever you're asking for reviews, not like a creepy, annoying way, but it's just difficult. Sometimes you go through the process, you get the transaction closed, you ask for review, hit them up a week later, maybe they don't do it, whatever the case. Anyway, long story short, I'm not getting a ton of reviews because I'm not asking for them, I think is what it is. But
Brooks, you know what a really good script is here, and I'll give this to you. This works 10 out of 10 times. All right, so you and I are at a closing table, right? And I just bought a house from you. You just bought a house from me.
All cash?
Here, yeah, all cash, right?
Cool. Okay.
Double down. You doubled down. You bought it all cash. And this guy's about to murder me with an axe. So I say to you at the closing table, I bring you the gift. We're at the walkthrough. Like, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It was an absolute pleasure to be working with people like you. If you know anyone that's like you guys, please send them my way. And if there's anything, would I be able to ask you for a quick favor? Right? Because they're saying thank you to me. Mm-hmm. Thank you for everything. We appreciate you. Sure, no problem. My pleasure. Could you do me one quick favor? Oh, we'll do anything. We'll do anything. Could you just leave me a quick review right here on Google? Takes 2 seconds. Right, because you're coming from a place where they're saying thank you, we appreciate you. Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you. Could you just do me one quick favor? Bam, they'll do it right there. Or they do it at the closing table, and now you don't have to chase them down.
No, that's a good call. I need to show up at the closing table, I think is what it's really what it is.
Get to the closing table.
Yeah, I need to get there. I got to get this real estate thing down one of these days.
We do have one more client review. Haley, if you could pull this up, it's Taya DeCarlo. So this is just a still image post. But I like it because she actually shows herself as it pops up right here. It just says Taya was on our side being a true champion for us. It lets us know who the buyer is. It's a picture of her. It's just better than the words, right? It's better than just posting the client review. And then in her caption, she goes into more depth with it. I love guiding people through the home buying process, but even more so when it is in my neighborhood. Happy 1-year home anniversary to my wonderful buyers. That's a great time to post the review too, so it doesn't feel like it's out of nowhere. You're doing it during their home anniversary. So they bought this home a year ago, post the review now. Then she continues with the review in the caption. It's just so much more engaging. Post a picture of yourself, post B-roll of yourself, and then that'll make the review perform a lot better than just posting the text base. So good work, Taya. Good work, yep. Frederick sells Frederick. And let's move on to
I got some views.
What's that?
We all got to share that.
Yeah, let's go get that guy some views. That's great.
Everybody follow Frederick sells Frederick.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's a great handle name too.
It is.
All right. And speaking of good reviews, speaking of marketing tactics, all of the above.
Yeah. Speaking of good reviews, we got the best reviews in BAMX. In fact, when we post our reviews in BAMX and people say how much the platform has helped them, that's when they join. So use code WALKTHROUGH, WLKTHRU, 10% off. Prices go up December 1st. Get in there right now. Moving on to the final topic, Dan.
Yep. Final topic here. Final topic. We're doubling down. Double down or get left behind in 2024, posted by Audie Chamberlain in Agent Tactics. There will be 4 to 4.2 million real estate transactions in 2023. Yet real estate agents buy somewhere in the range of 170 million leads each year. So the odds of a lead becoming an actual client is about 1 in 40, which is not exactly great odds. It's likely you already knew this, and you've probably already started your business plan for 2024. And if you have not, pause this right now. Go do your business plan. I'm going to give you 3 seconds. Pause it and go do your business plan.
But first, like this video and subscribe to the channel. Then go to your business plan and sign up for BAMBX and follow Sold by Linzi and follow Brooks.
Yes, correct. Do all those and then come back. So this means you captured your goals along with weekly and daily activities and all the KPIs you need to complete to reach these goals. But have you thought about your business plan, how it aligns with your PR efforts? Do you aim to increase your client base, boost sales, or enhance your online presence? Right now, really quick, Tom Ferry did this the other day. What would you guys rate your brand on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being like Walmart or Gary Vee. Really, really quick, because I got humbled fucking real quick.
Oh,
I'd give it a 7.
I would give it an 8.
Okay, Eric?
Yeah, 8.5.
Okay. I said 8. Tom Ferry said 4 to me.
Oh my God.
Just
So,
slashed it in half. Why did he say it was a 4?
he didn't elaborate. He just said 4.
Frozen.
Everybody.
You just
He
wanted to
said,
hurt your feelings.
once you define your objectives, you can tailor your approach accordingly and in turn reach the key publics you need to connect with. So identifying your key publics, the key word in public relations is public. That was my major in college. Identifying your key publics is a fundamental step in ensuring your efforts align effectively with your business plan. To tailor your approach and maximize the impact of this PR strategy, you must first recognize and understand the diverse needs and preferences of the various publics associated with your business. These include family and friends, clients, prospects, social media followers, investors, and people that you are recruiting for your team. Brooks, have you started your 2024 business plan, and what is on it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what are you
so
double downing on, Brooks?
I'm double downing on a few different things. Most importantly, the video content and putting it into the mailbox through direct mail.
Through DVDs. He's recording video content and then stuffing it into people's mailboxes. That's
Just
not a
giving
bad idea.
CDs.
Actually.
Opening up another Blockbuster, eh? Jeez.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just CDs the whole time. I think what happens with when business is down across the board, the ones who double down are going to have a leg up when everything gets better and smooths out. I think the one thing that's guaranteed in this industry, because it's cyclical, is you're going to have your ups and your downs. So as you're putting together your business plan, you need to plan for that drought. You need to put money away financially in order to push through that drought. I think a lot of agents right now are having a tough time with that because there wasn't any preparation when it comes to running the actual business. But for me, answer your question, I'm actually expanding my farm into a completely different city, an area that I've noticed I've got clients going back and forth from, whether you're buying up or downsizing. So I'm going pretty heavy into that, going pretty heavy onto community events. So I think you get clients through their stomach. I've given pies and gifts and desserts, and that's kind of my big thing that I've always done. And we've talked about this in the past because we're approaching Thanksgiving and I'm going hard on the Thanksgiving pies, and we're doubling down on that, and I'll get X amount of transactions every single year because of those Thanksgiving pies. Eric laughs about it.
No.
Leonetti made fun of me about it.
The pie's a good move.
It works.
Pie's a good move, trust me. But
Yeah.
getting clients through their stomachs
Yeah,
is just a very strange way to put it. Like it's like the movie The Alien, and you're gonna like go through their belly button and spurt their spleen open or their intestines, and then all of a sudden
We like to go through their esophagus to get to the lead.
Yeah, I like to go up the client's ass, preferably.
You start
That's
with
how
the
I get
mouth,
my
and
clients.
then you figure it out
with
from
a
there.
catheter, just straight.
Through a catheter. Jesus. Lindsay, what are you double downing on for the rest of 2024 to make sure your business is set up for 2024?
So first I want to talk about, like Brooke said, the remaining of 2023. I'm going to circle back to our first topic. Like those people that are moving, like we just told everyone that's listening to the podcast, all 10 of you guys, who's actually moving right now. The people who are using cash. Are you guys using ChatGPT to write out your ads, to talk to the people who are actually using cash in order to buy, right? Those people are using cash. I didn't even know that was a silent generation. Whoever it is, like maybe you can use ChatGPT to write out these ads for you that are targeting these certain people. Use ChatGPT to tell you, the topics of the videos that you should be using, that people hear it and they just think, oh my God, she's talking directly to me. She's talking to me. I'm in the silent, like, how does she know my struggles and like how I want to reach those goals? So that's what I'm working on right now for the remainder of 2023, knowing, like Brooke said, whoever's doubling down right now, I'm comparing it I get kind of amped up when I'm excited about a topic, but this is something I'm super passionate about, is about the video content and the social media. And I'm telling all these agents on my team who are like, hey, Lindsay, I'm trying everything. I'm trying open houses. I'm trying mailers. I'm trying, social media, and nothing seems to work. Well, it's because I'm picturing like they're boiling a pot of water. And as soon as like it's starting to get warm, they're moving it to another burner, right? But you need to just focus on that one burner, this one pot for the next 3 to 6 months. It's probably going to get worse before it gets better out there for everybody. I don't know about you, but I'm not like, oh, Christmas is approaching, let's put the for sale sign in the yard, right? So we have to, like Brooke said, during the times where 3% interest rates, you can't be getting all these monthly payments. You want to buy things in cash so that you don't have these huge monthly payments when the droughts come around. But that being said, you just have to keep with it. Even if you don't see the results right away, know that you're making an impact on other people. Help other agents. When you help other agents, like, clients see that and it actually helps you. I see that all the time where people are like, oh, I don't want to talk to agents because then my clients won't, think that I want to work with them. No, you're going to make yourself more bona fide by talking to other agents. And they're going to think, wow, she really is the expert and the person for the job. So just focus on helping as many people as you can, whether through their stomachs or through their social media or through their email. That's what we're focusing on over here.
Yeah, I love that. I like the concept of boiling hot water and then just you keep moving it from burner to burner. It's really data-driven decision making that Audie mentioned in that article, and that's what we're looking at with BAM. We're looking on what is actually converting right now, and it's live content more than anything. It's long-form YouTube content and live content and the emails. So that's why we're doing a webinar every 2 weeks. That's why Byron's going live on the hot sheet every single morning. And that's why, like, during the NAR trial and these cases and everything, Byron's going live because that's where the audience is. That live content is what separates us from these other media companies. And it's the easiest to sell when you're live. When people are invested in what you're saying and they're tuned into a webinar, that's when you say, join my email list. That's when you say, sign up for BAMX, because you have that embedded trust. They're listening to you right now. They're ready to take action. They're fired up watching an hour-long webinar or something. So we're double downing on live content, shows. I think we want to do another game show, Dan. Remember when you, Matt, and I would do that Instagram show?
Oh, dude, that was so much fun. And we didn't even, that would be
like,
sick.
I want to do like a YouTube one where it's just trivia, like once a month or something like that. It's real estate trivia, it's sports, it's music. We give away prizes and just have like a live fun show once a month. It's like 2 hours. We bring up guests, something like that. But I really want to just do as much live content as possible. Even like if you see Gen Z, it's the Twitch streamers and the Kick streamers right now that are getting the most engagement and getting the most money and views and follows, because people just want to be entertained live. So if agents can double down on more Instagram lives, YouTube lives, doing shows like the hot sheet, breaking down the market or breaking down these trending news stories, I think that'll do really well.
What I'm working on right now, and Eric, you touched on it, is data. So I am just not a data person at all. Never did an Excel sheet, never did a Google Sheets, nothing in my entire life. The equations on these things are insane. You press one wrong button and everything is done. So what I did was I did my business plan for 2024. And in so doing it, I'm being totally honest with you.
By him saying he's not a data person, is anyone like, oh my God, I totally.
Yeah, I thought this guy's an analytics guy now. Go ahead, Dan. Sorry.
Yeah, right. So I'm being totally transparent, where I had a sales manager and a CFO that was in charge of my P&L. I never looked at it. So what I did was I created two sheets. I tracked every sale that we did, every P&L, every processing report for the last 2 years. I wrote down where the lead source was, where it came from, who did the deal, and it translated into all these formulas as to how much money my brokerage made, how much money I spent on all my expenses, direct mail, and we were able to put an ROI on every single expense, whether it be direct mail, social media, whatever it may be, website. And now I also have my cost per agent figured out. So I know that exact number. I know how much I need to take back, right? So direct mail, we spent $35,000 on this year and we only converted on two transactions. So do we fix it, right? Or maybe we sent the wrong direct mail, or maybe we just scrap it in total. And there's other ways to go around it, like a Jimmy Mackin strategy. Now what I did was I created a projection. So I copied that sheet, right, from 2023, and I made one for 2024 with my projections of, if I make these changes, what will the revenue look like? What will the deals look like? And now I can go back to every single agent, because they're tracking and measuring and they are doing all their KPIs. I can say, okay, well, hey, George, you did 98 open houses, but you only converted 2 times. What are you doing? What can I help you with? What can we change? Here's 2 simple strategies. Let's see if this works. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe, George, stop doing open houses. Maybe stick to cold calling like you're good at, or stick to getting stuff from your sphere. But by digging into this, and I swear to God, it's my Mona Lisa. If I sent you it, you'd actually be so impressed. By digging into it and looking at the data and the numbers, it made me want to throw up, number one, but it also has now allowed me to see what we need to harp on, what we need to spend more time on, and what we need to spend less money or less time on. And one of the biggest things is, like you just said, like YouTube. I want to create just a once a week where I just like literally go live, and just, if people want to ask me questions because they're already doing it in my DMs, ask me, right? Just entertain, and we'll just have fun. If nobody's on it, then I'll just sit there and talk to myself. I don't care. But the other thing too is really quick. I want to ask you guys, as a part of our business plan, we have a SWOT analysis. So strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I want to hear your guys' SWOT analysis. Eric, I'll start with you.
So starting with strengths.
Strengths. Yep. What are your strengths?
Strengths are just. I'm sure.
Well, make it easier. So my strengths are recruiting, talking to people, my personality, social media, ideas, right, and just recruiting and selling houses and maintaining relationships. My weaknesses: organization, or communication, data, records, paperwork, my ADD. I'm looking at dogs, right? Those are my weaknesses. My opportunities is the fact that there are so many agents who unfortunately will be exiting the industry. So that is an opportunity for myself to pick people up, or maybe they're on a team or a brokerage that has no resources. So now I can step in and bring them and help them. And my threats is the market. The market conditions right now is my threat.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, those are all mine too.
Yeah, same. Exactly. Lindsay, same with you?
I'm pretty much right there. The ADD.
There we go.
Yeah. Thanks for breaking that down.
Perfect.
I'm on spread.
No, I'll entertain it, Dan. Sorry.
We're all like nodding along as he's saying this. We're like, yeah.
Strengths are being able to get attention onto content. I've always been good at capturing and maintaining attention. 9 years of the Broke Agent brand to BAM right now, getting attention to specific links and everything, and quarterbacking all the content with BAM. Weakness, I think live content for me is a weakness. I don't go Instagram live that much. I've been doing it a little bit more to push Byron's lives, but I don't think it's that fun to flip the camera around and just start talking. So I definitely need to get better at that because
you're hiding behind memes over there for sure.
Exactly. It's the what's that?
Wouldn't it be fun if you just like went on, like had like Brooks or Leonetti or myself or like a Tim Macy, and then just like bring somebody up like we did back in the day? Like I feel like that makes it more entertaining. Like people are ravenous to get on there and talk to you as a real estate celebrity, you know?
Yeah. And then opportunity, I see just doing way more collabs with other agents, bringing on more creators, expanding this net as wide as possible, bringing more people into the BAM ecosystem, throwing more parties, doing more digital events. And then what was the last one? Threats. I mean, Inman News, Real Deal, the powers that be right now that are definitely going to see as we're coming up. They're going to do anything they can to either not mention us, suppress us, combat us, or evolve along with us to try to fight us and beat us for that attention. So
imagine it comes out of Eric just from his college days of U of A.
Oh my God. Thank God that like Instagram didn't exist back then, and Twitter just started, I think, my junior year, and people weren't posting that much on Facebook at that time. Go ahead, Brooks. What about you? What's your biggest weakness, Brooks?
So my weakness is besides Basil Hayden's.
Join the club.
I think my weakness is this is something that I've always struggled with. I'm really good at getting business. I'm really good at getting new leads, getting new business. I think that comes pretty simple to me, just mainly because I've got really good systems in place and I'm very efficient throughout the day. I get a lot of shit done throughout the day in a short amount of time. But the follow-up is a weakness. The follow-up's a weakness for me. And it's something where it's like, if it's not coming relatively easy, or if I feel like there's going to be a little bit of a headache, then I just move back because I know my strengths are going to be going to find 5 more. So that's something I need to work on, if I'm being honest. And we're having just a moment right here, guys. That's something I need to
We're being honest here.
Well, that's why I asked it. But then the other part of it too is like recognizing it, like saying that out loud, and now also public accountability is now finding a solution. So you know what you're not good at, right? We all know we're not good at. So now it's either, okay, here's the strategy that we need to get better, or maybe it's a hire, right? So like Brooks, for you, maybe you don't have time right now for follow up because you have the children, you have flips. So maybe you hire a VA that goes through your CRM every day and reminds you to follow up with somebody, or sends out some sort of text blast, right? Like that's the whole point of it.
One thing I'm really excited about, I was at this event the other day with Arjun, the LFG Society event, and they had a bunch of people there, Sirhant. They had Andrew, the CEO and founder of Real Scout. And I don't know if you guys have followed Real Scout. Yeah. I don't know if you followed Real Scout recently, but they've got this new AI thing that's this aggressive follow-up on all of your leads. So I sat down with him a couple days ago and put like 11,000 contacts and leads in there, where hopefully we just start churning out a little bit more, where that I think is going to help me when it comes to the follow-up side of things. Opportunities are the fact that the amount of agents that are out. I think, that's only going to bring more business altogether.
Yeah. Byron just did an interview with Andrew Fletchner, I believe his name is, right? Yeah. So check that out on the Now Bam YouTube channel. Lindsay, what's your biggest weakness?
Weakness would probably be, I'm amongst friends here. It sounds exactly right. I have like ADHD, and I love the thrill of like getting a new client, getting that new lead. Like I know if someone's right in front of me, ready to go, I could get your offer accepted. Like I'll pull out all the stops. I'll do everything. If you look at me and you say, hey, I'm ready to buy, let's go. Right. But it's that long term. It's that like nurture. And I hear it all the time. No lead's a bad lead. But in my mind, I have that switch where it's like, oh, they're not buying anytime soon. I cannot focus. I'm only one person. I can only focus on so much. And like Dan said, getting the right people in place that maybe need to nurture these people and have more time in the day in order to be able to nurture. That's
yeah.
Well, these are all incredible tips. Another incredible panel. If you want to learn more, if you want to learn how to follow up, you want to learn how to do live shows, you want to hear Byron talk every single day because he's an evil genius, you know where to be. You need to be in BAMX. Eric, thank you, my handsome friend. Lindsay, thank you so much for being on the show. Brooks, you look incredible. Thank you. Follow everybody on the panel.